I've been building an AI agents for my business, mostly to get everyday tasks done faster as a founder. If you're running a business, you know there's always more you want to cover in less time. Emails, content, research, lead list, follow-ups. Agents seems like the perfect way to automate a lot of that. And in theory, they are. But getting an agent to actually work reliably is a different game. When I was building one of the agents, it took me 2 full weeks just to get a consistent output format. Sometimes it will miss sections, give wrong outputs that would be error prone. And after trying multiple approaches, system prompts and examples, and even reading through papers and guides, I started structuring prompts in a certain way based on how actual agents build recommended from big tech. In this video, I'm going to share that and how to approach models and small things that helped me to improve 10x. So let's start with the mental models. See, the model is not smart in the human sense. Prompting a model is closer to onboarding a new team member than it is to program a system. If you hire someone and ask them to handle customer email with no training, no context, no guidelines, what do you expect? Guaranteed chaos. They will guess, miss certain things, and even get it wrong. A model is a saying. It builds its entire view of the world from what's in the prompt. The more complete and consistent that view is, the better the results. Now, how do you actually write prompts that guides agents well? First, let's focus on the context. The single biggest thing that improved my agent result was just making sure the prompt had all the relevant information the model needs to do the task. This seems very obvious, but a lot of people used it like Google search. For example, when you're feeding long outputs into the model like command results or logs, sometimes it's too much text to fit. So you have to now cut it down. Now, most people just chop off the end. But that's usually where the important stuff is, especially in things like error messages or stack traces. The beginning shows you what was happening, the end shows you what went wrong. So instead of cutting from the end, the better trick is cut out the middle and keep both start and the end. This way, models still see something important and give a much better answer. Second, a present, complete picture of the world. If you want the model to act as a developer, tell it what tools it can use, what it can access. For example, to improve how your agent reasons about the code base, you can use a detailed prompt like, hey, you are an AI assistant with access to the developer's code base. You can read from and write to the code base using the provided tools. Simple lines like this can make massively improve how the agent reasons about what it can do and what it should not do. Now let's look at the third part. Be very consistent across all part of the prompts. Models are easily confused by inconsistency. So if your system prompt says cut directory is CWD, but your tool definition does not match that, the model will assume wrong. Same will state that changes like current time. Instead of baking it into a system prompt, send it in a user message when it changes so the model sees state updates properly. Another small thing, align the model with the user's perspective. If a user is working in an IDE, give the agent a view of what's on the screen. If they are writing code, tell the agent which file is open, what lines are visible, where the cursor is. Again, this will help the model reason accurately about what the user is trying to do. Now let's look at the fourth part. Be very thorough. Models handle long context windows well. Don't be afraid to give more details as long as it's relevant. So if you are teaching it how to do X from Y tool, then guide it step by step. What to do, what not to do, how to handle errors. The more clarity you give, the fewer assumptions the model will have to make. Now the last few tips that helped me well is number one, examples. If you give it very specific examples or too many of them, the model can overfit and start copying them too rigidly. So always test across different inputs and check that the agent generalizes well. Another thing, file name or maybe the tool name. Sometimes the model will misinterpret them. Like if I name something like email.py, it might think it's an email file, not a tool. So now I just add a simple line in the prompt like email.py contains code to analyze email content. That small clarification saves a lot of weird behavior later. And that's pretty much what helped me get my agent from random and buggy to something I can actually use every day. If you're a founder or business looking to bring agentic capabilities into your workflow, you need guidance on doing it right. Book a one-on-one call with me. Links are below. And if this was helpful, like, subscribe, and drop me a comment on what you'd like me to cover next. See you in the next one.